Good afternoon. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to talk to you about one of the oldest antiviral herbs that has been around and how I use it with everything that's going on. I think that it's time that we all took control of our own health care. And I know I'm certainly trying to boost my immune system any way that I can. And so I want to encourage everybody to do that. You know, we are responsible for ourselves. We make our decisions on what is best for our bodies. We feel when our bodies talk to us and tell us what's wrong. And you can get to where you're used to hearing that and you know what to do. And so I use several things, but one of my first lines of defense, and I'm not a doctor. I am not going to make any health claims for you today. You need to consult your doctor, but I will say doctors are recommending this around the country. In fact, our government used it in the Panama flu back in 1995. They actually used it, and it is elderberry. Now, I have dried elderberries here, and I purchased these on Amazon, and I get them from a place called Frontier Co-op. I particularly like theirs. This is what the bag looks like. And I'm going to put an affiliate link down below. It does benefit me a little bit if you decide to use that link and purchase the elderberries. And hopefully you'll want to do that if anything that I'm showing you or any of my videos are helpful to you and are teaching you anything. But yeah, I get Frontier Co-op elderberries. So they're dried. They come in a little bag here, and the prices fluctuate on them. During the height of sickness season, they do go up a little bit. Or maybe it's during a time where they're not as easily accessible. But anyway, these are good ones. I recommend them. And like I said, I'll put the link below, so you can check that out. Okay, this is what they look like. They're just dried little hard berries. Elderberries aren't good unless they're sweetened. So I'm going to show you how to use a naturally sweeten them with honey, which also boosts your immune system. So I'm going to show you down here on the stove. I'm going to take you to my pan, and we're going to look right down here. Okay, I've got my pan on the stove. Now I'm using water. It's about up to here. It's halfway. And I use distilled water. You at least use purified water, but please do not use water with fluoride and chlorine in it. Now I'm going to put this on to a simmer. And this is actually kind of a slow process, so it's not hard at all, but it just takes a little time. And the product that you get will be an awesome product. It'll be better than what you buy at the store. I believe it's healthier because I don't heat the honey, and I also put fresh lemon in it to help preserve it longer in the refrigerator. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to I used about a half a bag of, let's see, this is a pound of elderberries, and I used half a bag for a batch of it. Now it'll stay in your refrigerator for several weeks, so you don't want to make a huge batch of it unless you have a really big family. But I'm going to put these in the water, and I've turned the burner on under there. I'm going to put some freshly diced ginger, or cut up sliced ginger. I like to slice it so that it gets more surface areas working in there. So anyway, you can put however much to taste that you like, and I like ginger in it, and ginger is very healthy, so we're going to do that. We're going to put that in here. All right, I am going to use about a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. I like the cinnamon in it. It tastes really good. And I'm going to use a little pumpkin pie spice. Now if you don't have something all mixed up like pumpkin pie spice, you can use cloves and more ginger and that kind of thing. I just like the flavor in it. So anyway, okay, so we have this here on the stove. We're going to steep it for a while, and as the berries get, and I'll come back and I'll show you when it starts getting hot, but as the berries start expanding in the water, I'm actually going to start mashing on them a little bit so I can get everything out of them that I can get out of them, because they're extremely healthy. They're an antiviral. They're high in vitamin C. I remember when I was a little girl, my mom had a rash on her finger, and she went and found elderberry leaves, and she rubbed them on there, and it made the rash go away. So I don't know. You know, I'm not making a health disclaimer or health claim, but I'm just telling you what works for us. And this will be, if I think that I am getting a cold or anything, this is the first thing I go to. In fact, sometimes my husband and I will take a little glass of it, whether we, I mean, even if we're not feeling sick. It's great for your immune system. So we're gonna let this sit here and get warm, and then I will be back. All right, our elderberry water is getting really hot, and our elderberries are, and we have some happy little elderberries here. They are starting to plump up, and once they get really plump, then we will be able to kind of mash them in a spoon to get all the juices out of them after they get completely rehydrated. And the ginger will start flavoring it and putting all of its yumminess in there too. So I'm going to show you this pan. We are back, and our elderberries have been simmering about an hour now. And let me show you the pan here. Okay, I have a spoon with holes in it, and I just bring some up and I take the back of another spoon and just kind of mash them in like that until I've gotten all the juice out of them that I can get, because you're going to strain the the elderberries out, and so we don't want to leave any of the yumminess that's inside of them in the pan. So I'm mashing them, and this takes a little while. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off under them now. And the next thing that we have to do, and I'll just sit here and smash on these for a little bit, but the next thing that has to be done is that we're just going to let this cool. Not completely cool, but just until it's just a little bit warm, because we're going to add the honey, and we're going to add the lemons. Now I have 2 lemons over here that I'm going to juice, and we will add that. I didn't used to add lemon to it, but I've noticed that it gives it a much longer shelf life in the refrigerator if you put the lemon juice in there. So I decided to start doing that, and it doesn't hurt the flavor any at all. This is really delicious. I mean, I like to just drink it over some crushed ice. It's really good, and it's really good for you. You can also take some sparkling water and make a little drink with sparkling water and elderberry juice, and that's good too in the hot summertime, but it definitely is good for your immune system. So before we put this in, we're going to let this cool down a little bit, and I'm going to keep mashing these, just mashing with the back of my spoon through the slotted spoon, and then we'll be back as soon as it's cool, and we'll add the honey. This is a really, really easy recipe. Because it has the fresh lemon juice and because it has the honey in it, I believe it's healthier than the bought-in version. You can buy this at health food stores, you can buy it at Walmart, but it's quite expensive, and this isn't. This makes quite a lot, and it's a lot less expensive, and it tastes a lot better, and I think it's healthier for you. So I'm gonna keep mashing these, and then we'll be back when it's cooled off a little bit. Hey, we're back, and our elderberry juice has cooled to where it's just warm to touch that pan, and that will allow our honey to get mixed in really well. And so the next thing we're gonna do is strain it, and I have a strainer here in another pan, and I'm gonna pour it through there. And so all we'll have in there left is liquid. I never mentioned it, but you don't eat elderberries raw, so don't ever eat them raw. You always have to cook them to eat them. And I'm gonna mash this through so I get all the juice. Takes a little time. Okay. Back here to push some more through the strainer. And I do this because I want to get every bit of juice out of the elderberries that I can. So when I put them in the strainer, I just mash them to get all that juice out, because it's really quite potent, and you will want that in your syrup. So turn this over. This. And we'll just keep repeating the process until all of our elderberries have been mashed through the sieve, and it will strain out the ginger as well. I can't wait for you guys to try this if you've never had it. It's delicious. It is absolutely delicious, and like I said, it has a lot of health benefits. It really supports your immune system and has some antiviral properties in it. And we need those now, right? I used to buy this, and you can buy it, but I would buy a little bottle of it for what I could make, you know, a couple of jars of it for big jars. So, all right, I'm come down to the very end of getting all that out. And there's just a tiny bit of juice left in the pan. I'm going to pour that through. Okay. Now I have squeezed the juice of 2 lemons, and we're going to put that in. I just find that it makes it have a longer shelf life in the refrigerator. So we're going to put that, add that in. Now, our juice is warm, fairly warm, enough that it'll allow our honey to mix in and dissolve into it. So I'm going to, and this is the part where you have to just judge it by taste. So I have a whole stack of clean spoons here because I'm going to have to do a lot of tasting. I'm going to pour in probably about a cup of honey to start with. Well, I've used that much out of the jar, and I know I'm going to need more than that. I use quite a lot of honey in here, and you'll know when it gets up to the taste that you want. So stir it in and let that honey dissolve around. If your elderberry juice cooled off a little bit too much, you can warm it back up, but don't warm it very much because we do not want to destroy the health properties in the honey. And so we don't want to cook the honey. We just want it just barely warm so that it will dissolve into the elderberry juice. And it just is so good. Honey has a lot of health properties too. And so when I get honey, I always try to find local honey. So I'm stirring that in and getting it all dissolved. It takes a little bit to get it dissolved. going to try to bring the camera down here on it. It's such a dark purple color. I'm going to taste it and see if I've got enough honey in it. Not quite. Either it's not quite enough or it hasn't dissolved into it very well. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So I've used about a half a quart of honey. That's a lot. That should probably do it. And I did, mine cooled off a little bit. So I warmed it back up just a little bit so the honey will go ahead and dissolve in there. Look at that. It is such a dark purple color. It's full of anthocyanins. Really good for you. Okay, I think we're to the point where we can bottle our syrup now. It was juice before you added the honey, and now that you've added the honey, it's a syrup. That's what makes it a syrup. Okay, I have a little funnel here, and I have some jars that I saved just for elderberry syrup that I've gotten from people. So I will just ladle it into the jars. You can use a regular old mason jar. That'll work just fine. I've done that quite a few times. This is something that I actually share with people. If I know somebody's coming down with a cold or something and I tell them to take, you know, you really just can take as little as a couple of tablespoons at a time of this. I have a little shot glass that I got from a juice place when I was in Kauai, and I use that. And that's about the right amount for taking. But sometimes I pour it in a glass and drink it over ice. Or, like I said, add some sparkling seltzer water to it, and that's really delicious. You can see some of the pulp from the lemon in here, but it doesn't hurt anything. It's fine like that. Alright, I've got enough for another one. A bigger jar. But we will see if it'll fill this one up. It'll be good for at least 3 or 4 weeks in the refrigerator. I've never known the juice actually to go bad. It's just that sometimes it'll grow a little mold on the lid or something on the inside. But I just make small batch. Well, this doesn't seem like a small batch, but it is for us because we drink it, and I end up sharing it with people. And like I said, if my kids come down with something, I'm going to pour the last little bit in there. I share a bottle with them. Well, that worked out just perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you how pretty this is. It's such a dark, beautiful purple color. And it's so good for you. And if you have never tried to make this, I just want to encourage you to try to make it because your family will love it. You will notice a difference when you drink it. Like I said, I can't make a health claim, but I'm telling you, it makes me feel better. And it's really, really good for you. So, like I said, I shared the link down below for the elderberries. It's an affiliate link, so if you want to order them through Frontier Co-op, that's where I get my elderberries, and I've always been real happy with them. And so anyway, try this recipe. You will not be disappointed. It is delicious and it is good for you. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.